Hey, it's Rob here. Welcome to my video. I just want to discuss my take on a miniature camera rig and what led me to make this thing. So since the beginning of this channel, I've been fighting with learning and also with equipment. I had some pretty terrible recording equipment, video and audio, on the first video that I did. So I was inspired to pick up the ZV-E10 because honestly I just couldn't afford anything more serious than that. Plus, it's just for YouTube, right? So like, does it have to be a $4,000 or $5,000 camera? Not really. So we've got the ZV-E10. There's a cage for it, small rig, and I also have a Ninja 5, and I have a cage for that. And I also have a Rode wireless too. So when I first got the camera, I was using the kit lens. I thought that it would be a good idea to have something that was a little more for vlogging. So I did get the Sony 11mm. I did a couple of videos with that. The more I learned about how to use this camera, the more I was enjoying using it. And at some point through a couple of YouTube channels, one in particular that I really trust, I picked up this. So very nice lens. It's the Sigma 18-35 f1.8. And as soon as I started, I couldn't fit this lens onto the Sony. So I know Sigma did have its own adapter, but I ended up getting this one, which is from 7 Artisans. And it's worked perfectly, like literally no problems with it whatsoever. Now, so I've just fell in love with this lens. It's been said by people that I trust on YouTube and others that this is probably one of the best all-time lenses that you can get, and it wasn't exactly cheap either. So anyway, the issue became I didn't want the entire weight of that lens hanging off of this plastic camera, especially then now you've got an extra inch of additional distance here. And this camera is just plastic, so that's a lot of weight on it. So the adapter did come with a standoff mounting. The issue is, if you can see it, is that the standoff on the adapter is about 2.3 roughly millimeters further down than the cage on the camera. So I decided the best thing to do would be to mill it so it would fit. So this is the bottom plate that I got, and as you can see, I've done a couple of things to this. The first thing is I've taken it down by the 2.3 millimeters. And I'll confess that it did take me two to get it right. The first one, I was off by 0.1 millimeters, and I had a shim in there, and I just didn't want to have to worry about a shim. If I lose the shim, if it cranks, if it isn't put in right, more things to fool around with while I'm trying to do what I want to do. So I ended up redoing the plate again, and now it's perfect. And the second time that for version 2, I also put this anti-rotation device. Now there's a name for these mounts, and sorry, I just can't remember what the name is right now, but so the common camera mount sizes are a 1/4, like 1/4 20, 1/4 coarse thread, is the normal size for camera mount stuff, at least consumer stuff anyway that I know of. But then you have these are 3/8, so they're the next size up, and this is also 3/8. So with this here, I had to mill this down and mill holes in here for the anti-rotation pins to come through. And I was really happy with the way that worked out. It's literally only off by less than 0.1 millimeters, which is fine. Okay, so once I got the bottom plate done, then the issue, you can take the handle off of the bottom plate, but then you have no way to mount this on a tripod, and I did want to have it on a tripod. I do use a tripod in here for doing recording, and so thus again I had to mill more things. So this is what I came up with. So this is done out of a 1/4 inch aluminum, decent quality aluminum. So I have some sort of difficult to find and very low profile large flathead hex bolts in here. So it doesn't add any height. So this here can sit right on here. Sorry, this way. So this can sit right on here. I milled out the inside of it, mostly for weight, but also on the first version that I had, these anti-rotation pins hit. So I needed to bring that down, so that ensured that the anti-rotation pins wouldn't hit. So you have the 1/4 hole there for mounting the tripod. And then, I don't know, this tripod isn't a super great one, but it only has one anti-rotation pin. So there's 2 holes. You can put it either way and it will fit on the tripod. Once this is bolted onto the camera, you bolt this onto the bottom of this, and then you can mount the whole camera on the tripod. On the other hand, these, I didn't want to use standoffs, but the prospects of milling more or finding another way to make it one solid piece with these standoffs on here wasn't looking too promising. So these are 10 millimeter wide, 6.2 millimeter holes, and I think 10 millimeter length. And they're being held in by GB Weld metal epoxy. The only thing that I'll say about that stuff is I probably should have warmed it up a bit before I used it. It was a little on the thick side, but this stuff works like dynamite. I'm also considering, I was considering doing the, to color it, with the, sorry, I can't remember the name of it offhand, but where you use the acid and but that's all way more than, I don't have room for all that stuff, nor do I feel like having even more chemicals than I already do floating around in here. So I may just use some barbecue paint, flat black barbecue paint, or I may just leave it like this. I haven't decided yet. So anyway, there's the 2 things I had to mill. I'm not going to show the files or the Fusion 360. There is a brief glimpse of the Fusion 360 at the end of my intro that I spent all day working on today. So we will just put this back together momentarily, and then, well, actually I can just show you basically what we've got. So bottom plate modified here and here. I took the rubber pads off of it. These are just small rig pipes and clamps. And And this is, you can find this on lots of websites. There's lots of places that have information about this, other creators. So I'm not going to go into it too much, but essentially you can power a ton of stuff forever with it for a long time. I'm getting 2 hours of battery life out of each battery, and I've got 2 batteries right now. I think you can even get bigger batteries than that. So that's, and then this thing just leans on your hand. You hold it, and this pad, I tried to find a black one. I thought I did have some, but I only had the white pads. But this works really good because then this just sits against your wrist, and it makes it nice and comfortable. And there's really not too much else to explain with this. The only thing I can say is from what I have been seeing on some of the other channels, you get way better sound out of plugging your mic into the Ninja 5 than you do out of the camera. The camera quality sound, not as good. Unfortunately, this, because of the camera, only records in 2K, but I've looked at the videos and stuff that I've made with it so far, and I honestly can't see the difference. So the best thing about this, I can set the camera for my, well, first of all, I use Leeming LUTs, and I'm not sure how many of you guys are into doing the S-Log, but when I start something, I just go all in. So I'm using S-Log 3, even though this is only an 8-bit color camera. And it works great. I've had no problems with it at all. So what I do is on the camera, I set the zebras for 72 or so. For the range, plus or minus 2 or 3 of facial highlights that you want to get. So then, I'm going to also give you this tip. If you put the lens cap on your camera and you start playing around with the ISO, you'll find 2 ISOs that have the lowest amount of noise. One of them is 800, and I can't remember what the other one is, but for everything that I do, I use basically 800 all the time for everything. And I have not a super great one. I will get a better one, but I have a adjustable ND filter that I use. So depending on what I'm shooting, I have the Ninja 5 set for 95 or 100. I matched the zebras on the Ninja 5 with the camera, so as long as the camera was pretty close, then I think and the videos that I've taken with the zebra set at 100 actually have been great. So you just have the zebras on the Ninja 5 set at 100, have the zebras on the camera set at 72 or whatever skin tone that you are using. I've got it at 72 just for now with plus and minus 2. So you don't have to change anything. You can just use one lens, or you can use one screen or the other, depending on what you're shooting. And on bright skies, you just turn the ND filter down just until the zebras are gone on the sky, and you've got literally a perfect focus. Perfect exposure. Anything else? I think the only thing that I don't really like is that you have to leave the battery in this in order to use the external power supply. But I spent a long time trying to figure out, is the output on this okay to go to power this on the input of this? And if you go through the Sony help stuff, basically it tells you that if you plug the USB in and it works, then your camera will work with it. And if you plug it in and it doesn't work, then that camera doesn't support it. So yay for that information. Anything else? I can't think of anything else that every other person hasn't covered. So in conclusion, the more I use this camera, and especially this lens, this is crazy. I absolutely love this lens. Taken some super amazing shots with it, better than anything else I've ever done with it before. Apparently this thing is actually being used in studio movies and stuff. That is sweet. Couple notes. I think this may be one of the, maybe not the smallest, but one of the smallest rigs that I've seen. I like the fact that I have the dual capabilities to record on two things at one time. I like that I can use a bunch of different stuff on the Ninja 5 for aiding in manual focus, the zebras. I have the Leeming LUTs installed on this, so what I'm looking at basically is what I get. It's actually quite comfortable. Now, it is pretty heavy. I just weighed this thing and it's like just under 3 kg. So we went out with it yesterday and took some videos. When you're walking around, you just keep it against you like this. You don't walk around with it out here because it's just too heavy and it's going to bother your arm after a while. But while you're not shooting, all I do is when I am shooting is I hold it like this, and then you hold it here, and then you've got all your buttons and everything right here. When you're not shooting, just hold it against you like this. Crazy battery life. This battery powers the screen and the camera for 2 hours. This is the what is this one? 8.8. This is the 8.8 amp hour, 960, I think. Anyway, everything that I've talked about for the most part is already on videos out there, but I just wanted to show you guys the modifications that I made in order to, you could put any lens that you want to on this. You could put a lens like this far out on this thing that weighed 4 kg, and the frame and the camera with just the plastic housing, not going to matter because you've got the 2 different support systems now for this thing. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I do apologize. It's been a little while since I made a video. Yeah, I finally succumbed to COVID after making it through for the last, well, since it started without getting it. And so I'm not sure why that happened, but I was down for probably at least 3 weeks with that. But we're all good again now. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully you got something out of it. I think one of my favorite things to do is just to, whatever it takes to make it work. That's what I do. So in the meanwhile, if you need to do something to make it work, then make your dreams happen. Bye.